Coming up live on LiveWire, we have a wonderful show for you today. We're going to be talking about the Chinese New Year celebrations happening in Greater Sacramento, and you're going to meet some wonderful people who put all that together and enjoy some Chinese dances. Ooh. And also we're going to talk to two guys from TEDx Sacramento. It's part of a wonderful conference that they put on a yearly basis of new ideas, new directions, creative thinking, and you could go to that. But you got to stay tuned for LiveWire, which happens right now, right after this. It's called the Chinese New Year Cultural Association, and it brings us a celebration every year for the last 19 years. The Chinese community's been in Sacramento since, I would say, about 150 years, and they've always had celebrations. You can go back and look at photographs from the 1890s and see parades and celebrations about the New Year's and the Chinese holidays. And with me in the studio are two of the presidents, past president?
Yes.
And current president. Good, that's a good thing. You're doing like a tag team match on this. I like it very much. I want to, Wei Zhang, is that I get it right?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay. Tell me a little bit about the history of the organization. And you were walking down the street one day and you thought, gosh, wouldn't it be nice to put on a big cultural celebration? Or how did it begin?
This year is the 90th anniversary.
Yes.
And Longfang is one of the founder who the field group celebrate the association to celebrate Chinese New Year. Longfang can tell us a little bit about it.
Since you're one of the founders.
My pleasure. So 1996, a group of us felt the need of celebrating Chinese New Year, the biggest Chinese festival in our culture in Sacramento. This is our beloved adopted country, but we still have homesickness time. You know, that is such a great memory as we were growing up. So we decided to have a Chinese New Year event. We started group in 1996. Our first event was 1997. And it's been 19 years. It's been a successful event year after year. We're just so happy. It's a labor of love. It's love of labor. It's just hard work, but we just enjoy doing it. We indulge ourselves, reminisce in our old culture, and also pass on to our kids and communicate with our non-Chinese background Sacramentan. You know, it's a great event every year.
That's right. Before we started, you know, the only Chinese I know is, I just learned today that Mandarin pronounces Gang Hei Fat Choi.
Oh, no, that's Cantonese.
Oh, Cantonese, that's right. Then the Mandarin version is?
恭喜发财.
Say it again.
恭喜发财.
恭喜发财.
You got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Very hard, but it's interesting. And the Mandarin is it's like English. It's like the largest language in the country.
The most popular language.
The most popular language.
Yes.
Interesting. And so you brought some dancers.
Yes.
And these are part of this wonderful celebration, which has this dragon dance and martial arts and singing and dance and food. We'll talk a little bit about that, but is it possible we could see them dance now?
Sure, sure.
What are we going to see?
We'll see the Mongolian folk dance today. It's the dance group. It's a China Moon dance group.
Oh, okay. And will they be performing at the event?
Yes.
And the event's at the Hiram Johnson High School on the 30th of January.
Right.
And I see that the prices are very nominal for people to go and see it.
Right.
For children,
absolutely,
especially a deal. So let's have a look at this piece. Does it have a name at all?
Yes, this group, the leader is Gina Wang. She's a leader.
Okay, good. And why don't we learn who the other names are?
She can introduce the other.
Yeah, Gina Wang, Victoria Zhang, and Yali Liu and Christina Yi.
Do you dance together all year long?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Every week, at least one
That's
practice.
very interesting. And I love your costumes. They're fantastic. Are they creatively done, or they represent some part of the culture?
That's kind of a modern
version of things?
Mongolian.
Mongolian.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here we go. Let's have a look at it. Okay. Here we go. That's really good. Good. Okay, so we will come back maybe and see some more.
Okay.
But in a while, because I really want to find out. Give us a picture of what we will see there. It says food bazaar.
Yes.
Now, it is one of the things that actually draws me to events.
It's food, huh?
Because if I want to taste, yeah. It's also a taste street. It's also beautiful singing and dancing.
The event including the stage programs, and including the vendor booths, and the food booths, and also children's game this year.
Oh, children's games.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me, in the program itself on the stage, so you have this dance team.
Yeah, we have this year we have 18 groups to
And
organize this.
The 30th there.
Yeah, 18 seat organization to work on this project, and we have over 400 dancers, performers to attend this event.
Wow!
Yeah,
I'm
including dance, chorus, and and some
singers.
Singers,
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Yes.
So, is there someone who curates all of this, who says, "Oh, we're going to use this group here and this group here"?
Yeah, we have 20 groups of persons apply, and we collect select the gold program from all of this.
That's good.
Yeah.
There's an audition.
There is. Okay,
Yes.
well, that's the
Only pick the best of the best.
high end of the curation.
Yes. All right.
Good. Okay, so we can go back and have more dance.
Okay.
Yes, enjoy.
Here we go. It's an amazing thing. So these are dancers, are some of the great programming that you'll see at the Chinese New Year celebration on the 30th.
That's right. We have more beautiful programs.
Oh, love it. Tell me about the children's games. What kind of things are happening there?
With children game this year, we have 3 or 4 jumping house. That's a new item. Yes.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah. And
They should have one of those for adults too. I think.
Yeah, we also have some small Chinese game for children to play. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
We've had this very talented young man who creates different kind of shape of animals by balloon. He will blow the balloon and making different shapes. He's coming again this year. He's very popular.
Very popular,
he comes,
I'm sure, with kids. Good, good. So there's lots to do for children and also for adults, sound alike. And there's also good things for Ray to eat.
For Ray, you've got to come.
Okay, don't miss it.
I love Chinese food, and I like tasting different areas of food from China as well.
Great.
I'm fascinated with Chinese culture because it's old and wonderful.
Well, we appreciate to hear you hear you say that. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm very interested also in the concept of the organization and how it creates things, and I'm fascinated by the ideas that you use the New Year's celebration as a kind of creative expression of the culture.
Yeah. Different community organization has its own purpose, their own mission.
Yes.
But somehow, because with all the Chinese, we all share the Chinese background. You know, some of us come from China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Indonesia. You know, different part of the world. Chinese come here together.
Yeah.
We all share the same roots, same heritage, same culture. So even each group has its own mission. But when it comes to this joint background, we just come together, work together, very harmonious. We just love it. Yeah. When people work from Davis, Folsom, Elk Grove, Rockland, I mean, all over Sacramento region, people are working together for this one happy day. Yeah.
Happy day.
Yes, yes.
I'm good with that. It sounds really wonderful. And I want to thank you for coming. I think it's a nice thing. And if people want to go, you have a website.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. And it's it's a nonprofit organization.
Right.
It's cnyca.org.
.net.
.net, I'm sorry.
.net. Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. And thank you, dancers. Appreciate you coming to dance. It was quite wonderful, powerful. In fact, if you see it tomorrow night, this is live, of course, live television, but we also replay it tomorrow night. You watch your dancing. It was great fun.
Well, thank you for having us.
Okay, my
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Okay, we have to take a short pause right here, and we'll be back talking with Sacramento TEDx people. And they have some wonderful things coming up on their programming we will talk about right after this important message.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
It's called TEDx Sacramento, and it produces creative events that kind of reach towards current thinking in various aspects of intellectual thought and scientific thought. And a couple of guys in the studio walked in the studio here. It's Jason Silva. You're the creative director of this event and this ongoing event in Sacramento. And Mr. Block, you are the production guy. You're the guy that makes it happen.
That's right.
Rubber to the road.
That's right.
Yep. Wow. What does TEDx mean, and what is it about?
Well, TED stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design, and it started effectively in I believe, '84, and over the years has grown into, most people know it as videos online of inspiring talks, all that are free. Everything that is out there is free, and now it's grown into talks on NPR has a segment, a lunchtime segment. I believe it's on Mondays, I think.
That's good.
And
Science on Fridays, Intellect on Mondays.
Exactly. And so this has become sort of it's a phenomenon. I mean, they've got so much content out there, wonderful, inspiring talks about everything that is from the side of technology, even and entertainment and design. And they're all very short talks. So it's basically 18 minutes is the max limit, and that's by design because that is about the attention span of someone who is watching something like a talk, for example.
Hell, me, if I can't get me in the first 2 minutes, I'm not there.
Exactly.
Right, especially if it's a subject they've not been exposed to before.
That's true. Then we have to turn my mind onto it.
Yeah, and so TEDx, like a subset of TED, they're independently organized events. And Sacramento is one of the first, I think it was one of the first 6 that
Something
were
like
pilot.
that, yeah, 2009.
And since 2009, we've put on a significant amount of events. I've only been there for about 4 years. Dan has been there since the very beginning.
Since 2010, technically. So there was our very first event in 2009 was about 40 people in a room watching videos. And then in 2010, when I was involved for the first event where we had live speakers and performances.
Well, how did you matriculate to making the production happen?
I mean, really, we started off. So TEDx is entirely volunteer. So TEDx around the world, including Sacramento, no one's making any money off this. Our ticket revenue, our registration revenue goes entirely into the event. And so it's all volunteers. So when we started off, it was just a few of us who knew about it and wanted to put it on, bring it to Sacramento, put it on in our community. I had a little bit of experience doing. I'm a musician, so I knew some things about how to maybe produce a show. And kind of we started small, and then now we're doing pretty big, fancy production. I've just kind of learned along the way, and brought in a lot of additional people that have more experience.
Speakers. Let me ask you this: the speakers come from
all over the world. They are, and it's a blend. We always bring in. There's a curation team. Brandon Weber is the founder and curator, and he wasn't able to be here today, but he leads the way in terms of with a team to find the most inspiring ideas and people who have inspiring stories to tell, and works with them to create a very compelling curated event of a whole number of speakers. Maybe it's a half a dozen speakers and some live, some video, as well as some performances. We have musicians in all of the talks, so they're not just talks. Got to remember that too. And the musicians themselves are doing creative, interesting things. So again, part of the ticket revenues pay for the plane flights and the lodging we've had speakers from all over the world.
I get it.
And
That's
so we
good.
bring in a blend of some from international, some from national, and then some that are local.
So, of the people who have come to this is you've been doing this for a while here. So, what is it like? Is there like a same crowd coming back, or new people coming in wondering what is all this all about?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Every event we usually kind of ask by a show of hands who's if it's their first event, and we always have new people, but a lot of people, they keep coming back. And I know, Jason, you were an attendee before you became involved with the event.
Yeah, I remember watching TED Talks when I lived in San Francisco, and it was a new thing. It was sort of this like, have you seen this on TV, or on the internet? It was just amazing. We would be inspired just watching the short talk on the internet. And so then I move to Sacramento, and I find out that Sacramento has a TEDx. It's like, wow, okay, well, how? So I started attending the TEDx events here, and they just blew my mind. I mean, that's really it, because we've had some. I'm terrible with names and some of the details, but there was I think it was the TEDx Youth. Okay. We had some speakers that were like kids that had done just incredible things. That I mean, just the kind of stuff that you just can't conceive of how smart these guys are. And so that kind of thing said, hey, you know what? We've got to do something, let me get involved with this, and let's make this thing bigger. And it's gone from events that were, as Dan said, 40 people, to events with a few hundred, to our last event at the Community Center Theater, which we netted nearly 1,700 attendees at that event. And so we have our next event coming up in February 12th at the Community Center Theater. And that event we hope to sell out.
That's good. I hope you do. It's interesting. We've always wondered, every once in a while I'll be sitting across from this program from a bona fide genius. And, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like, wow, the fire coming out of this person. And I'm thinking like, how do you catch people like that? And where are they from? And this person's from here. And you guys do that as a kind of a way of life, because, you're going to have to do it again, right? Next year. Yeah. No, there's so many good speakers out there. Part of it is really trolling the internet, looking for. Now, one of the important things is that we're not finding somebody who just came from a conference speaking on something. It has to be new. It has to be. We have to effectively find something that they're working on that is distinct and new and exciting. And so very often our speakers, normal guys that do speaking on a circuit kind of thing, or just professional speakers, they're not often the best speakers because they have a system. And but if you've seen any of the TED Talks, some of the best ones are you're engaged with that person. You are connected, and you feel a part of that. Well, I can feel their passion flowing through you right now. It's very interesting. So, what are the topics like? I mean, we're talking in general about something that is, in a drawing situation, because we're all drawn toward new things, and maybe old things revisited, and then we find a gem inside that. And then also major issues in all of the creative development of things, but also to deal with, we talked earlier before the show about human needs issues.
Yeah, so I could just share a couple of my favorite talks that we've had at our events. So at our last event back in June, we had Ed Damiano, mathematician. His infant son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and he kind of changed his entire career into trying to come up with a tool to help people with diabetes. And he's created this bionic pancreas, and he debuted the first fully contained single unit prototype at our event last year. It was really exciting. We've had Brett from the band Ramona Falls sharing his creative process, which was really interesting. We had Ina Mae Gaskin, who's kind of like the mother of modern midwifery, which is like midwife, and just talking about, and it's really powerful for me. So I'm going to have my wife's going to be having a baby soon, and so we're excited to kind of, not just go with, just don't go with what the hospital says, and you need to have all these drugs and stuff, but we can actually have a natural childbirth, and it's not scary. And so some things like that have been really inspiring for me.
That's what I was talking about, going back and finding out, because a lot of technology has its own kind of culture, and it grows around or away from our real needs. We were talking earlier today about changes in how chickens are raised for the chicken sandwich, and how we've gone backwards in time now towards more free range things, what the farmers did a century ago, instead of putting them in little tiny cages and poking them with things. So it's very important that we kind of revisit culture as it develops and scientific achievements. And I can see that this is a good way to do it, an open, kind of an open forum in a way. This is good. Good. So where is it? When is it? See, well, we talked about what it is.
February 12th. It is February 12th. It is an event that starts, I believe, at noon or 1 o'clock.
Show will start at 1. So
1 o'clock till 6 roughly is our time. The event is at the Community Center Theater downtown. It's a large venue, but it works out really quite well. And for some of the musical performances, the acoustics are we can fill that space. But the event is also, let's say another thing that's important here is that the event is an experience. So even the lobby space will have ways of engaging. We're actually going to have an installation. There's a really exciting installation that's going to happen in the lobby, which all of the attendees can interact with. I can't release anything here. If you miss the event, you will then have to watch and hear about it online. But one of the things too, for people that want to see some of our prior events, the videos of them, if you just go to YouTube, youtube.com/TEDx Sacramento, and that'll show our recent events and I believe almost all of the talks.
So all the talks are hosted through the parent TED organization, but we have all of them, like for our event, linked on our YouTube channel.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you both coming to talk to me about this.
Thank you.
Okay. Good luck on your event.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
All right. That's all the time we have. But it's called LiveWire, and it's here on this channel every Wednesday at 5 p.m. So we'll see you next week, right? Get your pencils out, write down what you saw here, and go to those events. Bye.